Hi, and welcome to On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my left is Garrie D. Woolery.
Hey,
Garrie,
Ronnie.
how are you, buddy?
Fine. How are you doing?
Good to have you on the show. Now, we always usually have you on the show talking about the VFW and also having you on the show about music, but today's maybe a combination of all of that, as you're now, and part of the 5K that we're having, the Veterans Honor 5K run. Tell us about that and how that came to be.
Okay, well, first off, I'm the post-public relations officer for the VFW here in town, 571. And for years, I have raised, through a fundraiser, money for the Honor Guard and also the Veterans Council, because they need money to survive, and I've talked about this before. But when this first started, I was having a party down at the VFW, and I found out that the Honor Guard was about broke, and they may have to disband.
Yeah.
So I jumped in and had a little fundraiser that within a week and raised like $440. Next year, raised $1,700, and then Mike Moore became the president of the Veterans Council, and he came on board, and that year we raised like $3,500.
That's awesome.
So each year for the last like 10 years, we've raised between $3,000 and $4,000, which keeps the Veterans Council and the Honor Guard moving forward because of the finances. Now, what some people may not understand, that the Honor Guard, all those men on there are veterans.
Yes.
Volunteer, and they go to the gravesite when a veteran passes away, and that's the last time that that veteran gets respectable honors from his community. Now, the Veterans Council, which runs the Honor Guard, they have at least sometimes 60 to 65 funerals a year. Now, if you think about that, there's only 52 weekends in a year.
Right.
So that sometimes it's
multiple
2 or 3 a week. And that, you know, in Ron, that's rain, sleet, shine, or snow.
Right.
Regardless of the time of day or regardless of the day of the week. They are there, 21 gun salute. They present the next of kin with the flag. And so it's a very honorable thing that we keep the Honor Guard going. Yeah. And also the Veterans Council, they provide a flag for each veteran in our county, which is like 11 graveyards. And it's like, I think Mike tells us what, 300, 400, 500, or 600 veterans.
Right.
Everybody gets a flag. And then all the flags you see up and down our city streets is provided by the Veterans Council and the VFW, which puts them out.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing when you guys do it for Veterans Day and I think Memorial Day as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I had
It
that
shows a
sense of
pride.
when I'm,
Pride in the veterans.
Yeah.
You know.
And it seems like every year here the last couple of years I've seen the trucks out, the guys jumping out and putting the flags there on Park Road. Yeah. It is it just feels like proud to be an American.
It is proud to be American.
Yeah.
And so I told you that story to tell you this story. So my band, Garrie D. Woolery Backstage Pass, we do once a year the fundraisers. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought one day back in January, I said, you know what, Woolery, you're gonna quit playing music one day, and somebody needs to step up to the plate and carry this on. And then I said, I don't know if anybody will. And I don't want to take that chance of saying somebody wouldn't. So it popped in my head, won't you have a 5K run to raise money for our Honor Guard? So then I went like, okay, good idea, but you don't know what you're doing. So what I did was I talked to Jeff Reedman, and I said, hey, Jeff, because a good friend of mine and a good community family business.
Yes.
And Jeff said, hey, Garrie, said Betsy Ross is from Connersville.
Wonderful lady.
Yeah, wonderful lady. She lives in Cincinnati. She's worked with the Flying Pig Marathon for over 20 years. As a matter of fact, congratulations to the Flying Pig Marathon, voted #1 marathon in the United States of America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was announced yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations to the marathon people. So he gave me her contact information, so I sent her a text and introduced myself and said, hey, Jeff Reedman gave me information. This is what I'm thinking about doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? And I said, I know the mayor. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually one of my drummers. And I said, I'm going to talk to him. And she sent me a nice text back and said, really great idea. Said, I'm really proud of you for thinking something like that. And she said, and Chad Frank's a good friend of mine too. And I said, well, we're Connersville people,
Yeah. She's a wonderful lady. I've had
She's
her
a
on the show many
wonderful
times.
lady,
Yeah.
And then she gave me the name of Cecil Frankie, who is a school teacher in Centerville, and he manages road runs. So she said, I'll get a hold of him and see if he wants to help you. So Cecil Frankie got a hold of me and gave me some really good information and advice about how to put this on and how to do this. And my whole goal is, after I'm gone years from now, this 5K Veterans Honor Run will continue for years to bring in money for our veterans. Because when I pass, I want the Honor Guard out there shooting some guns for me.
Yes, yes,
but,
absolutely.
But it's a very honorable thing that we do for the veterans. That's the last
so.
thing that they do.
Yeah.
So that's how this came about. So then I got a hold of the mayor, and he said, I'm in. So we decided, we set a time up for a committee meeting. So I got some people on the committee, and we went down our first meeting and brainstormed it and come up with some really good ideas and everything. Sorry the mayor couldn't be here today. He's in Indianapolis. And Mike Moore, the president of Veterans Council, he can't be here because he couldn't get off work. So you're stuck with me to tell you about this whole program. So
It's okay. We're glad you're here.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it is. So we decided on a date, and the mayor said, you know what, that'd be really great to have that on the 11th of May, the celebration in DeVille, the city. And he said, the race could be at the beginning, like the beginning of it, and then it just snowballed into a really good thing.
Yeah.
So, so that's where we are with it. It'll be May the 11th. If you got the flyer there, you want to show? We have a flyer here. The Veterans Honor Run. It'll be May the 11th, and it's going to start at the Pavilion. Registration is at 8 o'clock, and the race will start at 9. And there's going to be a $20 donation for the run, and the T-shirts are available, which we'll talk about here in a minute if you want to purchase a T-shirt. But we've already sold some T-shirts. People really like them. But that's where it is. And then the beginning ceremony, Mike Moore's going to play taps on the bugle, and then right after that, I'm going to play God Bless USA for all the runners.
Right.
And then we're going to start the race. And Jim Reedman is among one of the oldest veterans in this city.
Yeah, Jim's got to be in his 90s.
He's in his 90s.
Yeah.
And he is going to be the official starter of the race. And you will see him out there in a little red scooter, which belonged to my wife, and I'm letting him use it. I put a Reedman license plate on the front of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so we're going to say, Jim, honorary man to start the race. And he'll say, on your mark, get set, on the little air horns, and everybody will take off.
And now, this is a 5K run, walk,
Crawl, roll, whatever you want to do.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, John said he ain't doing a run thing.
Yeah,
we understand. We get
I can roll.
Yeah, you roll, but
definitely get that.
But
I gotta lose some weight.
But come down there to the pavilion and support this cause. Yeah. Now, even if you don't want to run, it's fine. But if you want to donate the money, I have a committee there, which will be taking care of the registration forms, and I'll have a committee there, selling the T-shirts,
right.
And then we'll have a big sign up there with the route and everything. So it's going to be a good time for the veterans. It's going to be an honorable thing for the veterans, and along the route, we will have once again the flags.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Put up along the route, and we're going to also have some of the motorcycle riders from the.
I just dropped the route.
You dropped the route.
Dropped the route.
But we're going to have some of the motorcycle riders from the city. We're going to be placed along the route for traffic control, and it's very short. But a 5K is like 3.2 miles or something like that.
Too much for me though.
Yeah, too much for you though. So.
That for Jimmy Heisel, that's it's a walk in the park.
Oh yeah. So
I'm sure Jimmy will be doing this.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm hoping so, but we're hoping that the high school they get the word, and we're hoping that the armory over here, all those military guys.
yeah.
But this is in honor of, and that's what it is. It is a honoring our veterans as they run.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice here, and I'll talk about this.
Yeah, these T-shirts are incredible.
Now, these T-shirts came up on a brainstorm in our meeting, and it's Veterans Honor 5K Run, running for our veterans. Now, if you can see, we put a white patch there in honor of. So these T-shirts are for purchase for $15. So now this is my shirt, and I've already written the names of the veterans that I'm going to get out there and try to run. I may have to shuffle a little bit.
Now, is that with marker?
This is done with a Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Yeah,
That's what
just right on with Sharpie. Yeah, that's my father-in-law, Johnny Zeiss from Utah. And then Harry Mullins is a good friend of mine over in Ohio. Matter of fact, his 2 daughters are coming over here to help out with
the race.
Yeah, no, with the being on the committee.
Oh, on the committee. Oh, good.
And Dan Young, a buddy of mine, was in the Army together. He passed away. Steve Miller went to high school with. He passed away. Another good friend of mine is Charlie Steele. Arthur Peters, Corporal, my uncle, from Laurel, Indiana. So I'm running in his honor too. And then this guy here, just Leon Wyatt, Sergeant Major out at Boise, Idaho, just passed away. And a very good friend. So these are the ones I'm going to, and all USA veterans.
So you're going to get out there and do some running.
I am. You know,
That's awesome. Good for you.
I'm 75 years old.
I used to, me.
And I'll still beat him. but
No problem.
I spent 20 years in the Army. I retired. I used to be a drill sergeant, so I'm going to have the drill sergeant gene's going to have to kick in, and I'm going to maybe not run as fast, but I'll be there. So.
But you said some colorful words and sayings
I
back in the day.
said some very colorful words.
We
Training
can't say
troops.
Now. We can't say
Okay,
now,
we won't say them now, you know. But.
So now they can do this too as well, and I'm sure with the Sharpie it can probably be washed and not washed off.
Yeah. I pretty well. I
That's
think
a good
so.
idea.
Yeah, but now we have Sharpies there also.
You can.
Will be when you buy a shirt, you write it on there.
Right at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah. Who came up with this idea? Did you see something about
this? That was one of the committee members,
Yeah.
Dan Weeks, which actually works down at Reedman's, and he has all the T-shirts down there. The T-shirts are at Reedman Motors with registration forms, and are also at the VFW.
Yeah.
So
you can buy them now.
Oh, you can buy them now. We've already sold about 15, 20 of them already.
Yeah. So you can buy them now, even if you're not going to run.
Yeah, even not going to run.
Yeah.
Buy the T-shirt.
Yeah.
But if you want to come down and donate the $20 and you're not going to run, we'll take, because this is all for the veterans.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So I have a little sign here that I'll show, and that's the Veterans Honor Run, running for our veterans, and we had that made.
Let's lift this up a little bit.
Yeah. And then we have another sign here. This is Veterans 5K Run, May the 11th, 2024, headquarters. Now, I'm thinking ahead, because there'll be a lot of people coming in from out of town.
Yeah.
So these are going to be placed all around town at the strategical interest points, pointing to where to go.
And it's going to be at the pavilion?
Yeah, this will be at the pavilion, but now these will be around town.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like when you're coming in off 44, you're coming in off 27, and I got a guy going to put them out, and then when it's done, he'll pick them up. But this is directing people, like the arrow says, go that way until you see another sign, and that'll get you to the the pavilion there. And I want to give the citizens this thought, and this is a quote from me that I thought of because I was at a friend of mine's gravesite and I took this picture and I seen my shadow and I said, that's like the spirit of a veteran.
Absolutely.
So I call it the spirit of a veteran. And then I wrote on there, the spirit of a veteran will live forever. When you think of, when you see, and you speak to a veteran, greet a veteran and think of a veteran. In your heart and your mind, the spirit lives. And that just came to me, it's just pure as day, to say that because I want people to remember veterans.
Yeah.
And the spirit of a veteran will always live as long as you do those things. Yep. And it's a quote by retired Army First Sergeant Garrie Woolery. So for the citizens of Cartersville, put this in your heart and remember it. And I encourage you to come out along the route of the runners and encourage them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a glorious day. But the whole thing about it is that I've got veterans in my life. And when we play music, we do a tribute to the veterans. We do taps and God Bless USA. And I have all the veterans stand. And some of you have seen me play that. There's a lot of veterans out there, tears will be just streaming down their face because we're saying thank you for our freedom.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
the citizens of Cartersville, you know, I ask you to support this event to keep the spirit of the veterans alive. So
Yeah, and that's amazing, Garrie. Coming from one veteran to another, you know, you'd be thinking you need to praise us, but you're praising your brothers.
exactly.
You know, and that's what's amazing because you're right. We wouldn't be here, have the freedoms we have if it weren't for you guys defending the old red, white, and blue.
Well, appreciate you saying that. And I have a lot of people, you know, when I wear my veteran stuff, they'll say, you know, out anywhere, Walmart, or they'll say, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, thank you for recognizing that. And it was my honor to serve for our freedom.
And
That's what it's all about.
And what years did you serve?
1968 to 1988.
Oh, wow. So you
20 years in one day.
20 years in one day,
But the check in the mail. Yeah. I'm going to Fort Living Room.
Yeah, Fort Living Room, yeah. Good for you, good for you.
Yeah.
Now, what'd you do afterwards?
After that, I was stationed down at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and I got out, and I started. All the veterans down there were selling real estate or insurance or something. So I was always really good at cleaning my cars up, so I started a detail shop. And I detailed cars down in Kentucky before I moved up here to Cartersville.
So you're not originally from here?
No, I'm from Riley, Ohio.
I see. I'm from Ohio too, but I've never heard of Riley.
Yeah, it's right below Oxford.
Really? Is that on 73?
732.
Oh, I know where that's at.
You know where Riley is.
I know where Riley is. Duh, yes. Yeah, I would take 129 and cut over 732 to get to Oxford. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know where it's at. Duh, I know where it's at now.
I graduated from Riley High School.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And the school's tore down now. They has 18 graduating seniors. Not a lot. But yeah, I'm from Riley, Ohio, and got drafted in the Army, stayed in, and retired down. I made it back to, traveled around the world, did, you know, all my 20-year duty stuff, and retired down to Fort Knox. So I did that, and then I had family here in Cartersville, and my mother passed away, and then me and the wife wanted to move closer to my dad, but I didn't want to go to Ohio.
Right.
So my wife said, we're moving to Cartersville. And I said, I'm not, are you crazy? I'm not going to So I came up here and looked, found the city and seen the house she liked and said, we're moving to Cartersville, honey. Yeah. So I get the last word, yes, dear. So.
Well, yeah, that's always a good word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here, and I've been here since '06. Love this town, love the people. It's so wonderful. I've been really accepted and just, you know, really. And I tell everybody that I just try to do good things for humanity and mankind. Because that's what it's all about, giving back to humanity and mankind. And that's what makes the world a better place for me and you to live. So
when you were detailing cars, playing music, when did you start getting involved in helping the veterans? Was it right after you went to Fort Living Room?
No, it wasn't actually until I moved up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a band. Well, I was in a band in high school, and then in 2002 we decided to get it back together, and that lasted for like 5 years, and they were over in Ohio.
Yeah.
And then, but when we moved up here, I said I'd never be in another band, but as it worked out, I got in another band, and then when I started helping the veterans was when I heard about the Honor Guard may have to disband because it was broke.
So that's what got you.
That's when I said, not on my watch.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran, and I'm going to, whatever I'm going to do, it may be wrong, but I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And that's when
and
I
so
got
naturally, music was your go-to.
Yep, music was what led to all of this. And because, like I said, I was having a birthday party for my wife down to VFW that weekend, and I heard about it, and I hurriedly put together a little fundraiser and I said, you know, I'm going to do this every year until this thing gets
and how long have you done that prior to this year?
We've been doing it probably about 10 years now.
10 years now. So because when we had last month's On the Spot, we had Amanda and Hillary on for promoting the celebration on the Ville, and they didn't think it would be 2 weekends. Now it's 2 weekends. I was trying to get them to go 3 weekends, and they said, or maybe on a Sunday. They said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But now it's grown to 2 weekend or 2 days.
Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe 2 weekends. They said, shut up. But it's grown so much. It has grown so much. Do you see this 5K maybe growing, possibly getting some musicians in there to maybe take over because I know music's one of your loves.
Yeah, it is. And this is the beginning of the first year of something new.
Yeah.
Very first ever Veterans 5K honor run. That's what we got to remember. And I'm hoping from this year it blossoms and it increases. And after I'm dead and gone, I hope it's still going 100 years from now.
Yeah.
I really do. And
I'm sure the Flying Pig didn't start off.
The Flying Pig started off with a little neighborhood run.
Yeah.
And look at it now.
Yeah.
Number one in the United States.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
They announced that yesterday.
Well, if Betsy's a part of it, then there's no question that'd be why it would be up there.
Yeah. She's a ESPN celebrity. And
she's a wonderful lady.
I've never met her, but I've heard many wonderful good things about her.
I'm sure Kate's met her before. She's just I could go on and on a show just about talking about her. She's just a wonderful asset to Connersville. She's the epitome of the definition of Fayette County.
Exactly. And the thing about it is when Jeff Friedman gave me her and I sent her that text, she immediately responded.
Yeah. That's how she's
Gary,
very caring.
nice to meet you, and buzzy, and
In fact, when I get out of here, I'm going to text her and say, hey, watch this show, and we have a segment on you.
Yeah. Once again, Betsy, thank you so much, dear. I really appreciate your help.
So,
I hope this thing goes and blossoms and becomes.
I mean, because I'm sure when you started off with raising $300,
$440,
and then you're raising a whole lot more after that. You can see this thing could possibly grow. Because, I mean, look at these. This is your first year, and you got these shirts. This is an incredible shirt.
It was a brainstorm. Dan Weeks from Reedman Motors come up with that idea because he's a runner.
Yeah.
And everybody said, well, why you have
this? Is personal.
Yeah, it is. It's making it personal because we're running for our veterans, honoring them.
Yeah.
And when they're on that run with their veteran's name on there, or walk or crawl or roll,
whatever,
they got their veteran with them.
Yeah.
That's an honor. It's touching their heart, So.
Yeah, and then wherever you wear this out.
Yeah.
You still carrying them with you.
Yeah, and what I would encourage everybody is that, I put a post on Facebook about all this stuff, but share it. And one guy said, man, what are you doing having a run for the veterans? All us old veterans, we ain't going to run. I said, I want you to come and support it.
Yeah.
But I want the young men. Yeah. They got uncles and grandpas that was in the wars and stuff. I want them to come because they're runners.
Right.
And Dan Weeks is a runner that came up with this idea.
Yeah.
And he's a runner. And he said, Gary, these people that come to these runs is like a cult. They will follow around. So we're going to hopefully that with your help, if we can get this sent to Shelbyville, Rushville, Richmond, Liberty, every radio station where we can get an influx of people to come in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think because there's veterans that's not just here in Fayette County.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And I remember when we had you on the show last year, I think it was, talking about one of the fundraisers you guys were having then. When you talked about more than once a week, sometimes the time out of because you guys travel, and the snow and the rain and sometimes they've done it with little to no resources at all, and to keep that up is very important.
The music end of it is self-satisfying.
Yeah.
And some people say, well, we can't pay a band. They cost too much. I'm going think about what a band does. Number one, we have several $1,000s worth of equipment, personal equipment.
Yeah.
And then when we travel, we go play at venues which don't pay a lot.
Right.
I never get paid.
Right.
Because they ain't that much money, but I make sure my band members are paid.
Right.
But You know, we have several $1,000s worth of equipment. And if you're going to play from 8 to midnight, that's 4 hours of work.
Yeah.
It's fun,
Yeah,
but
you
it's
guys
still
don't have
work.
roadies. You're putting all the equipment up, yeah.
You know, we start at 8. We got to get there at 5 to get all the equipment set up, do sound check, and then you play. And then when you're done, you got to tear it all down and put it up. You got to go home.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it. And I tell everybody, my reward is what's coming out of those speakers, and I see people out there singing along with me or on the dance floor. That's my reward.
Yeah.
Because I'm bringing, remember I said, giving back to humanity and mankind.
Right.
That's making people happy through music.
Right.
Music is the voice of the soul.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And I'll just tell you a quick story. When my wife passed away, before she did, she said, "You got to promise me you'll keep playing music."
Yeah.
And I said, "Baby, I don't know if I'm gonna have the desire." She goes, "Nope." She says, "Number one, you're good at what you do." And I'm thinking like, well, thank you for the compliment, but I don't think that, but I do enjoy it. She said, you owe it to your fans to keep the happiness that you're giving to them. And that's what it's all about. I'm bringing happiness to people. Yeah. And then she said, and if you quit, she said, because she's always smarter than me.
Yeah.
She said, your band will be lost. And I went, whoa.
And you said yes, dear.
Oh, believe me, I said yes, dear. And I said, really? She goes, honey, said your band members are you guys are so tight, and you're great. We never argue, we never fight, we don't practice a lot. We just play, make really good music. And she said, they'll go play with other people, but they'll never be in another Garrie Woolery Backstage Pass because you guys are that tight, and you bring so much happiness because your happiness and your showmanship on the stage relates to the audience and the crowd, the reason everybody has so much fun.
And who's all in your band?
In my band, number one, the oldest guy, Ralph Cook, is 80 years old.
Oh, that's right.
The legend. We call Ralph the legend. Yeah, he's a legend. And then we have George Adams from Cambridge City, my drummer. Mm-hmm. Terry Farrell is from Cambridge City, and he's a guitar player. Tommy Cadell is over in College Corner, Ohio. Me and Tommy went to school together in Riley.
Oh, yeah?
I actually taught him how to play guitar.
Oh, yeah.
But he plays better than me.
So he surpassed the teacher.
And then I have Stevie Abashan, who's the owner of Powell's Plumbing, and he's my lead guitar player. Wow. The best guitar player on planet Earth.
Wow, that's
He
awesome.
is really cool. And then I got Jesse Ray, my keyboard player. He works at Powell's too. So I actually got like 7 guys in the band.
That's awesome.
But that just depends on who shows up. Sometimes we'll have anywhere from 4 to 7, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, we still have the same music and the same show. Yeah. But we just really love doing that. But I really hope the music works out, you know, here in the community. Because what a lot of people got to understand is that live music, if people don't start really supporting the bands, it's going to go away one day.
Yeah.
And then all you're going to have is the radio to listen to music.
Yeah.
But the live music is the performance, which really
connects it. Yeah.
It does. It connects the people,
Yeah,
you know. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So.
We're running a little bit out of time. Garrie, real quick, one more time. How do people get involved in the 5K this year?
Okay, 5K this year. All right, be at the amphitheater at 8 o'clock that morning, and we will get you signed up. The race starts at May the 11th. The race starts at 9. We'll have the opening ceremonies. And then one last thing, when you do run, here is a certificate of appreciation for all the runners who come back. We will hand this to you, shake your hand, and tell you thank you so much for participating. But May the 11th, be there, come out. It'll be a great time. It'll be a glorious time. And I don't guess I have time to tell the people that I want to thank, but I want to thank TV3, you and Ron and John, Ted Kramer from the radio station. Mm-hmm. I want to thank Katie Lungsford for being here, and she's going to do a story for me. But and I want to thank the mayor. You know, the mayor's all on board with this, and he has really supported us. I got a staff members of about 20 people that's on board to help out with this, but I want to thank everyone who's making this thing happen. So,
Garrie, thank you very much, buddy.
Well,
We're glad to help
Ron.
you out. And thanks you for all you do, and thanks for your service.
Well, thank you so much.
We'll see you on the 11th, and we'll see you next month on the spot.
And thank you so much.